Hello, everybody, and welcome to Compensation Management. We're in week 2, and I don't have a lot for you. I'm just going to go over the to-do list this week. Some things that you may not realize are in the classroom as well. To get to the Zoom next week, if you go to our modules in Canvas and down to the Zoom section, there's a Zoom ID part. And if you copy and paste this into your web browser, it will take you to my room. And then you possibly will need the passcode. And then I will activate that for you to come in. This is a strange time of day, and I apologize for that, but this is one of the only times that I kind of have a quiet situation. Also, a lot of weeknights, I will have ball games. So this bridges that time between school and my ball games, and I don't want to have Zoom at 10:30 at night because by that time I'm done, you're probably done, or it doesn't work with my schedule very well. So that's how I have Zoom set up, and you can again find that in the modules in the Zoom section. Then I like using the modules tab over here on the left-hand side, and maybe you're not new to Canvas, which is great. But this gives you an overview, a really nice overview of what is expected each week. And then they have these nice little check marks that you can then see that you have completed what needs to be done. So week 1, I've got grades updated. Everybody did a great job. I was so excited about the discussion topics that we had. You will see that one of the things that I like to do is add my own tidbit of things, and I will put those in there. Comment on them if you want, comment on my, you don't have to. But if there's ever a question that has a right or wrong answer, I will certainly put the right answer. So in the discussion topics, if you're talking about the right stuff. So week 1 went really, really well. I was happy with that. I apologize we didn't have a Zoom. Everybody will get their 5 points for that. But honestly, I am just now getting materials. It was kind of last minute. This is the book that you should have, Compensation. It is the 12th edition. This is one of the driest books I have ever seen. There's no pictures, there's no graphs, there's no images, hardly anything, but it's good content. So if you're not a big sit down and read a whole chapter type of person, luckily our content has some great summaries as in PowerPoints. So let's look at week 2. We have our weekly overview here in the module. It has the overview and to-do list. Again, this is another checkoff. This might be a good idea to print. If you're a hard copy person, print this, highlight it, scratch it out whenever you get everything done. That way you're not missing anything. I have noticed with Canvas, I feel like sometimes I'm jumping around because of all the notifications that Canvas gives us, which is great. But having this to-do list and checking those things off will help determine if you have everything turned in or not. Then we have 2 topics. The first topic is defining internal alignment, and the second topic is job analysis. So if you go into these topics, and I'm sure you've seen this already, there are presentations available. And with those presentations are a great way of summarizing and taking notes out of this textbook. When I got that, I started sitting down and refreshing my memory and everything. I'm like, ugh, this is just not right. I haven't read a book like that for a long time. So I have both of our slideshows open. I'm going to show you something here. So if you have chapter 3 open, and as you're going through your textbook, you want to elaborate on something, say on slide 10. Let's go to slide 10. Okay, one of our topics for discussion is about job-based structure and person-based structure. So this is a starting point. Go and find this in the textbook. Then, if you're, again, a paper and pencil type of person, you can print this off and jot all of your notes on the back of that page. Or, if you're not familiar with PowerPoint, there's a notes section here. You can then type notes that you want to include in your assignment discussion. Okay, these save just as the slideshow would save. So this is a great place to take notes as you're going through your book and the summary. The images are much better to give us what we're looking for and reading in the text. I hope you can hear me okay too. I personally have only one vocal cord, so I feel like I'm talking really loud because I have to strain, but I know it's not the case on your end, so turn up that volume and hopefully it will work for you. Okay, so chapter 3, we are going to see this in our discussion board. Like I mentioned, we're going to talk about job-based and person-based structures. This is when people are looking at evaluations and compensation for their workers. Are they able to do their jobs? If we are going to evaluate them on a job-based structure, we need to know, are they able to complete their work? Are they able to do the duties that we are asking them? A person-based structure may be more academic. What knowledge do they know? What skills, competencies do they possess that make them good in their job? This is definitely going to be not company-based, but can't think of the word right now, but it's going to be different types of employment. So job-based, for an example, if you're going to work in a factory and you're building boxes, those boxes are going to be the same every single time, because if they're not the same every single time, then where we are sending those boxes, they're not going to be able to pack correctly. They have to be a certain dimension. They have to fold correctly so we can send them. If you're not able to do that correctly, or you can't lift the 40-pound pallet that they are on, that's going to affect your structure or your pay. Now, if you are working in academics, you're a high school teacher, you can no longer teach accounting because accounting now is all computerized. That's going to affect your pay structure. The skills and the knowledge you have to keep up with either job or person-based structures. So again, go through this, great information. In chapter 4, I have it pulled up here. I'm going to pull up slide 4. And again, this is going to be seen on one of your discussions. How does job, wait, everybody talked about that. Slide 18, chapter 4, not slide 4. Okay, job analysis, bedrock or bureaucracy. So this is going to be in your discussion board on 2.1. Is it fair that businesses can change job descriptions, but not our pay? So as you're reading this, the book has a lot of great information. This PowerPoint has some information as well. But something that I want you to keep in mind is that most states, except for Montana, are employers employ people at will, okay? At will employers, which means that employers are free to adopt at will policies, okay? They can change job descriptions. And it is probably a good business policy to look at those job descriptions on an annual or biannual basis. It is illegal, however, to terminate still. You cannot terminate based on job descriptions, but it is feasible to terminate if there are illegal reasons. And you cannot discriminate with these terminations as well. So last week we talked about the $15 minimum wage. This still gets to me. And a lot of it goes back to this bedrock of bureaucracy. Are those people who are going to be making $15 an hour, Are their job descriptions going to change to affect and match, correlate with those job pay? I don't know. It's almost contradictory. You know, you would be upset if your job description changed without pay. But what about on the employer side? Do we have to change their pay and not their job description? I don't know. That's something that's in business, we see a lot of contradiction, and definitely that is one of them. Okay, enough of my soapbox. Lastly, you're going to do an apply for your job description. You're going to use your job description. If you do not currently have a job that you want to use, you can use a past job description, or you can use one that is your future goal job. So if you want to be human resources of a large hospital, go to a hospital website and look for a job description for a human resource manager. They're out there. It doesn't have to be the hospital in your community. You can just look for a hospital human resource manager job description, and you'll find a lot of them. I would like to see, this says that you do not need to provide your job description unless you want to include it in the essay. I wouldn't mind seeing it just so I can see how you are correlating them together. Also, there's a disclaimer there, don't want to get you fired by sharing internal information. So if you are not able to use your personal one, then just find one that is similar to it. I do want to point out, everybody did a great job on their apply assignments last week. Make sure that we are 1 to 2 pages in length. These are not discussion topics. You need an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. These are essays, 1 to 2 page essays. When it says 1 to 2 pages, your title and your works cited does not count in those 1 to 2 pages. Okay, obviously they're going to be on the same paper, but your content needs to overflow or hit the bottom margin without a title of that first page. Otherwise, it's going to be too short. Okay, so I want that. And the ones that I did see that weren't quite that 1 full page had no introduction or a very good conclusion. So work on that. Make sure you have 1 to 2 pages of content, not with a big title or a heading at the top. You can do double spacing, but no extra spacing after paragraphs as well. Times New Roman 12 would be great. And then I use the rubrics. If you look at the gradebook, you will see that I use the rubrics. So look at those, pull those down. Make sure you're hitting all of those different areas if you're in doubt. Okay, feel free. I think we're doing a really good job so far of communicating with one another. So if you have any questions, just let me know. I figured out with our old system, we weren't able to connect the online forum with our phones. I can with Canvas, and I love it because I don't feel like I'm leaving you guys out there to dry while I don't check my messages. So it alerts me if I get messages in Canvas. You can use my personal email as well, or you can text me if it's an emergency, but please use that sparingly since it is my personal time. Okay, I'm out. I'll talk to you later, and you guys have a great week. I will be sending this to you. If you have gotten this far, please email me in the message below the keyword of job description. Bye.